Hey everybody, Greg Ehrenberg here from OddsShopper. We'll break down another slate here, and we've got a lot of basketball games, we've got a lot of baseball games spread out throughout the day. So we got some bets to bring to you guys via our tools at OddsShopper, where we are using the sports books against themselves by using a weighted market algorithm where we take all of the different lines at different sports books and we create a fair line based on how successful the individual books have been over time. So different ones more heavily weighted than others, and that's pretty much the short way that we use OddsShopper and how our algorithm works to help find you guys some bets. And we've got all the sports books in here as well, different books. We are going to be highlighting what the best lines are at each of these books. If you guys want to sign up for OddsShopper, we've got a 7-day free trial. You could click on the link below to get access to it. And you guys are going to get all of the stuff that I'm about to run through on screen here. As you come in, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm looking at all of the sports right now. So we've got baseball, basketball mostly here towards the top. There's more basketball and baseball action. There is NHL for today. So I'm not going to sort by any individual sport. Just look at all the top projected bets. And also for NBA, it's going to happen at this point of year. We've only got, 4-5 days left now in the NBA regular season. As a result, the injury report's just out of control. We've got Giannis questionable, Anthony Davis questionable, Jason Tatum questionable, Trae Young questionable, John Morant questionable, LeBron James questionable, Drew Holiday questionable, Desmond Bane questionable, Jaren Jackson Jr. questionable, Brooke Lopez questionable, RJ Barrett questionable, Derek White questionable, D'Angelo Russell questionable. These are just some of the names on the injury report at the time I'm recording. No joke, there's like 50 to 60 players on the injury report, so there could be a ton of value that opens up in OddsShopper later on today. So you guys sign up for that free trial. If you already have an OddsShopper membership, look back at this every at least couple hours or so, just see what new pops up on the board, because I do think there's going to be some new bets that end up showing some pretty good amount of value here. And also, I think we should stay away from some of the spots where there are a lot of players who are listed as questionable. So even right now, because these are things that are really, really hard to just figure out with an algorithm. But CJ McCollum going up against the Grizzlies, and sure, he is a 4.5 rebound line when it's 3.5 with a lot of other books. But I actually wouldn't touch this just because of the amount of players that are questionable for Memphis and just the fact that this could lead to a much easier matchup than we would otherwise assume on paper for McCollum, because Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, John Morant, all questionable right now for the Grizzlies. Same scenario goes for Kawhi Leonard, but here's the difference. I am more apt to take overs for a player when they're going to be in an easier matchup than some of the unders. So I might not want to take an under on CJ McCollum, even though it projects well, because the matchup will get a lot better. But Kawhi Leonard, who we have projected to hit the over 6.5 rebound line, 60% of the time, good for an 8% expected ROI. This is one where you could bet over 6.5 rebounds for Kawhi Leonard. And then let's say the Lakers rule out Anthony Davis, rule out LeBron James. Then this is an even easier matchup for Kawhi. And you run into a situation where then his prop line goes up and it would look even better. So for a lot of these kind of spots, just to make this clear, I would focus on the NBA games more so on some of the overs than the unders, just based on the potential for players to be ruled out and how that would impact some players' projections. With that in mind, Jordan Nwora here. Not that we have to worry too much about the Pacers, but Nwora over 5.5 rebounds at Bet Rivers. He's also listed at 5.5 on Unibet, 5.5 on PointsBet, 5.5 on FanDuel as well. A little bit more juice, but see BetMGM has it at 6.5 right now. Caesars also at 6.5. Jordan Nwora, pretty similar here to Kawhi Leonard in terms of it being a bet that we're winning 60% of the time on an over rebound prop. So Jordan Nwora, another pretty favorable one. Moving on to baseball, we've got Shohei Ohtani over under 7.5 strikeouts. That projects pretty well on the over. Bet Rivers, that also have a similar one. No, that was minus 129. So best lines here are DraftKings and PointsBet minus 120, minus 125. It's Shohei Ohtani. The matchup against the Mariners might be a little bit difficult, but Ohtani's stuff is so good, and it doesn't look like he's going to be too limited to open up the season. So I do like the over on the strikeouts prop for him. And same could be said here for Christian Javier. And we did win a prop bet yesterday on Houston Astros pitcher. We had under strikeouts for Framber Valdez. That ended up coming through. Valdez struggled a little bit against the Detroit Tigers, but I do like this spot for Christian Javier. Javier is a much better strikeout pitcher than Framber Valdez. We're getting the same line, but here's the difference. We're actually getting plus money on the over here with Christian Javier. Yesterday, it was, I think the line on Framber Valdez, it was 7.5, but it was minus money on both sides. Plus money on Christian Javier against the Detroit Tigers. Last year, one of the worst offense in baseball against right-handed pitching. Also struck out a 10 against righties. Yes, please. Give me the over strikeouts for Christian Javier at plus money. And I wonder if there's a ladder available as well that we could bet on this to maybe look at like over 8.5 for more plus money, because I think it's a pretty good spot for Javier against the Tigers. What else looks good? I'm going to avoid the under on Pascal Siakam. Once again, Boston Celtics team very potentially going to be shorthanded on the tail end of a back-to-back. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of their key players ruled out. I'm going to avoid Pascal Siakam. But with that in mind, Jakob Poeltl, we have the over on his PRA projected pretty well here, over 24.5. The best available line is at Caesars. This is one of those other situations. The Celtics could be resting everybody. If the over on Jakob Poeltl looks good at the time I'm recording, how good is it going to look a couple hours from now if Tatum is ruled out, if Al Horford's out, if Derek White's out, all those guys? So Jakob Poeltl over 24.5 PRA. That is something I could certainly get behind. Let's see if there's another thing that I want to back. Here's an interesting one. The New Orleans Pelicans first quarter money line, right now the best available line is minus 143. Talked about it before. This already projects well for us. And now we have the scenario where the Grizzlies have John Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Dillon Brooks all listed as questionable. If all of those guys get ruled out, this first quarter money line looks really good. If some of these guys get ruled out, it looks even better. So I think this is something to take advantage of. First quarter money line for the New Orleans Pelicans, that could also on a lot of books be parlayed with the full game money line. Get yourself some extra payout on that kind of parlay. Also, good correlation. So those are some of our top projected bets of the day. Mostly NBA there. There are some baseball ones that pop up as well. Let's look at the parlay builder. Yeah, let's look at a parlay here for DraftKings. It's going to be across multiple sports. What projects well? So on DK, some UFC bets. I'm actually going to remove this one because it's only winning 49% of the time. I'm going to remove this one. So here we go. We have a 3-leg parlay on DraftKings. Shohei Ohtani, the over strikeouts. We've got over 0.5 total bases for Mastrobuoni. And then we've got, once again, the Pelicans first quarter money line. So this is a 3-leg parlay on DraftKings. Plus 430 is the payout. 20% expected win rate. Good for a 10% expected ROI. So if you guys want to place a parlay over at DraftKings, there's one to take advantage of. So that's going to do it for me today, guys. Hope you guys find some bets that you liked here over on OddsShopper. If you haven't done yet, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And don't forget, if you're signing up for the first time, checking out OddsShopper, look at our free trial. 7 days, totally for free, no risk for yourself. I think you guys are going to make money in that free trial. I want to subscribe to this tool for the long haul. And if you have any other additional questions for myself, we've got a Chalkboard channel. Chalkboard, it is a totally free chat app. It's also got the ability to look at box scores in there. We've got all stats. And you could ask us questions. Myself and Lawfew is also on the YouTube channel. We've been posting additional bets, sweating them out with you guys. Totally free to download the app. Totally free to download our channel as well. We did some giveaways in there last night as well. So go check that out. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a great day. Good luck. See you guys back here tomorrow.